So white people, what is this thing? I don't understand it. And I can say that, yeah, and I can say that. No, but it's some kind of love drama here, but I'm a little bit like... I'm just thinking, this is the first time I've seen you know, a music video from Band-maid where they have other actors. See, these are very blue optic, right? It's bluish, yeah. It's like, okay, so he gave her like some kind of blue gem or something. This probably isn't an actual gem, or so I call it Ädelsten. This probably isn't pure. Start over in life, right? Start over in your relationship, everyone. So, hello, Myrmonden here. We're gonna watch Band-maid Start Over video, which is, honestly, I found, again, Band-maid is all over the place. It's a very interesting band because you have like, in this video we're gonna follow like a white couple that are fighting, and then I guess they start over the relationship, and it feels really different again with Band-maid because you're like, the girls are barely in this video. It's about this couple instead, and it's very different. And the song is also very different too. I call it a pop ballad. It's very different. And then you have this fake gemstone that I'm gonna rant about in the end of the video, guys. Stay for that because I'm gonna go crazy and explain to you why this is a fake gemstone. So, start over. What's this woman? She's a new band member? So I have to do a cold take on Start Over. Yeah, a cold take. I can do that. I feel like also cold takes. What is that? I don't know. That is a hot take last week, right? That's a cold take last semester. Okay. Looks like a schoolbuilding again, I would say. But this feels more bluish. The other feel like they're more... There's a rose in her hair, but... Who is this person? What is this thing? So white people, what is this thing? I don't understand it. And I can say that, yeah, and I can say that. No, but it's some kind of love drama here, but I'm a little bit like, what? Okay. What is the hair there, yeah. Well, obviously it's a drama then, but this is what I'm moving with. I'm just thinking, this is the first time I've seen you know, a music video from Band-maid where they have other actors, except like the school one, but they were like, you know, focused, like 50 people in the background dancing or whatever, yeah, but like an actual like character storyline here. Okay, now we're happy. Oh my god. And he gave her like a... See, these are very blue optic, right? It's bluish, yeah. It's like, okay, so he gave her like some kind of blue gem or something. Diamond, like lapis... Nah, that was like half blue. Oh, so I see, it's it's like a mixture. However. Oh, going backwards. Gives it a zero feel. Yeah, exactly. It's like reversing the previous scene. Poor fish is alive again. Nice. Oh, this is like a church? You know, I see the bench over there. It's like two people fighting here. So it's just like some kind of marriage gone wrong or something. No, it's actually an old piano. But... I guess it's also a reverse now then. Like let's go back into the light there. Yeah, now they're together again. Yeah, I think it's very different than the previous ones. Yeah, I'm really confused, I feel. I'm like, yeah, this was very different. I mean, honestly, obviously it feels like they cause a lot of music videos with this kind of topic or kind of visuals, I must say that. I just haven't seen Band-maid at all. That was... We gotta rewatch a bit here. Yeah, let's go back a bit. So this kind of moment here, right? I mean, obviously, like I said, right? This is a very common, like, visuals in a music video. A couple fighting, and then they make up again, right? And then they're hugging, and she's happy, or whatever, right? But, yeah, it's... I just realized, like I said earlier, that I've never seen a music video from Band-maid where the Band-maid members are not the focus. They also have a screen time overall in this video. Is this perhaps like for something else? I don't think so, but I mean sometimes, you know, when bands do music, right, they're actually like some kind of, like it's a movie or a TV series or whatever, that it might be, you know, this might be a song for a movie. So I'm looking at the comments actually here for that Start Over, and apparently this song isn't very popular to some extent, or at least when it was new then, right? People are saying that, yeah, it had bad reviews, it had like missed out on this song for years. It is a little, it definitely felt kind of, again, it's interesting with Band-maid, because this song felt like different. People calling it more funky, more pop, right? But for me, it's probably, I keep saying, right? But it's both the chorus and the visuals felt very different, again, than other Band-maid songs, right? And I don't get people said in my video about Influencer. The Influencer also felt kind of like different, right? So what I mean is that when I listened to Influencer last week, that's like my least favorite song so far, right? Which I call it a hot take then, right? But when I listened to Influencer, it felt also kind of like very different than the previous song. It felt like another music genre or something like that, right? This song here also feels quite different. I don't think it feels as different as Influencer here, Start Over, but I do feel this a little bit, it's a different, people say pop, more funky, yes, it doesn't feel as the other songs I've heard either. So I think I get people more now in the comment section, on my video then, on Influencer, people are like, well, you know, they have a lot of different styles, yeah, like a pop rock ballad, maybe that's what you call it. It is, it felt kind of different. I want to go up a little bit again and listen to it. There goes the chorus, right? And yeah, it certainly feels more American. That what you were calling it? I think it feels more American pop. I feel that people are getting at it. This definitely feels more like some kind of thing. A lot of the, I think, like the 90s American pop music, especially, which actually is done by a Swedish guy, you know, yeah, or Myrmonden basically, right? Mostly, I would say, that kind of feel to it. That's probably what people are feeling here. This, again, it's not a song from Band-maid, which is kind of different than other ones. Probably what I feel there. But yeah, let's break it down. So visually, obviously, it's like a broken home, right? She's been, like, I guess, abused by her husband or boyfriend or whatever. But I guess they're, like, married, and she's, like, crying on the floor, right? You know, and then we see her all sad and so on, right? I think it was interesting they had a time reverse thing, which reminds me, of course, of R0 openings, right? With Subaru kind of dies and they reverse that, so we see that later. And in that sense, from a visual standpoint of this music video, I'm actually a little unsure if they are back together again. It is called, of course, Start Over, and it's kind of like a loop, I guess. But because it's also like, you know, they kind of revert them fighting, and then he kind of comes back to her. But you could also argue that this is like actually the hugging before they start fighting, right? Is this also in reverse, or is this him coming back again? I think the last scene is supposed to interpret as this is like after they fought, that he comes back home or something, and they're like, you know, together again or something. But you could also argue this is actually the beginning of it, before the fought. But given the title, I guess it's a romance Start Over, right? But my main thing though, that I want to talk about here, from a visual standpoint, and obviously I mentioned earlier, is that this is the first music video that I see from Band-maid. And of course, I'm, you know, working down the list. Try to subscribe, guys. You know, recommend next video. But I'm working down the list of Band-maid videos, and this is the first one that I've seen then that it's not about the girls, right? So it's not about the bandmaids. Yeah, it's about some other two random characters. Like I said earlier, the only one I can think of otherwise is you know, Rock Lady Modesty music video, where of course it's like some schoolgirls, right, based on that anime, that are like, you know, stuck in school or whatever. But again, those schoolgirls are obviously not like an actual, like, you know, character, right, storyline, so to speak, because it's like 50 of them or whatever, and they're all kind of in the background, and they kind of, you know, stuck in the, you know, in prison, and it's like hell school, right? Then they break free or whatever. So sure, there are other characters, but they aren't really like you know, what do you call it? In video game design, we call that named characters. I actually wrote a paper about that like 15 years ago. but in a lot of games, right? For example, let's like Fire Emblem, whatever, right? Most fantasy games, you will have, you know, a character. Let's call him like Richard, right? He's a knight, you know. He's like the stronger knight. Then you have knight characters that are just knights, you know what I mean? So they're the same class, right? They have the same abilities, but Richard, because he's a named knight, he will have maybe 10 more health points, right? So on. That's the typical named character in video game design. They are basically the exact same class and abilities, but it's slightly better, right? Then you have kind of unique characters which have, you know, their own class and abilities and so on. And that's kind of what I feel when I watch this video, comparing it to the other one, right? These two are like, you know, named characters, or maybe even unique characters, right? Where those schoolgirls were all basically 15 knights. Hope you know what I mean? But they're basically all like the same stats, whatever. They have no unique abilities, whatever, right? But it was like one schoolgirl who had like, you know, other hair color and other clothes, whatever. She'd probably be the named schoolgirl. You know what I mean? But here it feels more like, no, this is like two more uniquely based characters. And I have to say, honestly, guys, I don't like it. no, a little bit. I was asked to make a cold take, but I have to say that I don't hate it. I'm joking a bit, but I do feel that this music video is very much focused on these two fighting, right? This couple fighting, and I do want to see the cute Band-maid members. No, but seriously, this has to be the video with the least amount of screen time, percentage-wise, I think, for the actual band. Now, obviously, they are in the video. Of course, they are. We see them perform, of course. But generally, leave a comment below, guys. What do you think about this thing, about the music video? Because I think it's by far the one where they have the least screen time, right? And I mean, I'm here for the hot chicks in in the maid outfits. No, but seriously, it's a little bit. It's like, yeah, I kept thinking about when I was watching it first time. I was like, I watched it 3 times now, and I'm like, yeah, they don't really appear that much. It's really a lot of that couple, that white couple fighting. It's like, it's not much of the girls, and I like it. For example, in the last one we did, they had this what I call like a fighting stage, right? They're in some kind of like a jinja, some kind of shrine in Japan. And, it has all this cool gold coloring, it's cool lighting effects, right? And we see she plays the solo and then it's banging out, right? And we see this like behind this gold thing, or this color gold by the light effect. I mean, I think this looks really, really cool. I love the kind of scenery, right? This video definitely had the least amount of kind of showing the band members having like cool poses, or as the kids call it, aura, right? As the kids call it these days, right? This video, didn't really give the girls like, look at my, like, there wasn't like that like cool posing aura in this video. That being said, I will call this thing like a rock ballad, pop rock ballad. I kind of like the term with that, because on the same time then, because this is more like a pop ballad, it does feel like the whole like R farming doesn't make as much sense. So I get it in that way, right? Because this is more a slow song, a pop song about like love and forgiveness, right? It does feel like less of like, like less posing. So I think that's fair. I think it makes sense in that sense. But I still kind of, I don't know. I don't care too much about this random couple, I guess, that are only in this video. And I do think it is supposed to be like a church, right? At first I thought it was maybe a school again, and I know it's like the old style piano in the background. To me it looks like a typical church bench, but maybe, right? And it isn't like an actual church, I get it, because the windows aren't in that classic color scheme, but or the shape of them as well. But I still feel like it's supposed to be something like that, and it's very white, right? So what do you think about that? But they definitely had a blue theme going on, right? It's like the most of them now are wearing like blue clothing, like a maid outfit in the blue theme, right? Like a blue hue on it. And I think it is because we see, I guess, his gift to her. He's giving her some kind of like lapis lazuli or something. Yeah, he's giving her this thing, right? Which is like some kind of gem with bluey. And honestly, if I'm gonna be that guy, because I'm a nerd, if you haven't noticed that, if you didn't know, guys, this probably isn't an actual gem, or so I call it Ädelsten. This probably isn't pure. So what I mean with that is this is a combination of two different ones, right? So it might be like amber. Amber, right? It's a hardened thing, and you have something around it or whatever, right? But this thing here looks really unrealistic, honestly, because it's like 3 different shifts in it. So I'm gonna guess this is something that is very, very synthetic. That being said, though, the blue part, which might be like a lapis lazuli, aquamarine, or whatever, but it looks like it's basically an aquamarine, and then you have like coated it, right, in a synthetic other substance. That's our guess with this kind of thing here, because it's kind of like it has 3 different layers, right? So it'd be incredibly unnatural how to make it otherwise. Also, it might be the lighting effect or whatever, but it looks like it's probably like a coated thing around an actual gem, right? So it's like, so it has this weird like layer shifting, which in reality would be incredibly hard to happen. The thing is that this is too pure, basically, right? Like it would be more blue on the sidelines if it was like, I say, it's solidified by the years in some ground or in the rock or whatever. Then it would be more bluish, I think. Like a blue diamond goes, spectrum goes further out than the center. It has too much center in this like teardrop design, so it just looks very unrealistic to me. But if you know what it is, yeah, tell me. But I do think it's a combination of 3 different types of material. So if you're new to the channel, guys, I am a scientist, okay? I'm a proud nerd. So I just put an image here, I'm sure you guys better, of course, but yeah, I don't think this gemstone here in the music video is an actual real gemstone. I keep talking about, no, it doesn't make any sense, because it's like too much blue in the middle and there's white around it. If you look at the image here, I think it's a pretty good list actually of different gemstones. This actually doesn't make any sense, right? Because this is what I meant earlier. None of them are basically as, blue centered and then like white around it, but it don't happen, right? Look at the last one. That's probably actually the closest one to the one they have in the music video. But otherwise, the thing is that normally, right, when a gemstone is like made in the ground or whatever, right, by the years of and so on, is that they will have like a spectrum, right? So if you look at the one that is the second one on the 3rd row, right, that one is the blue is kind of like cracking, right? It's kind of expected otherwise. If you look at the other ones, they're obviously much more like centered blue, right? They're not as like, they're bluish around it, right? A blue diamond is blue all the way, right? This thing here again, it's only blue in the middle, and then it got cracked into white, right? Doesn't happen in reality. So that's what I'm just like, nah, that's a synthetic gemstone. That's a fake gemstone, guys. No, but seriously, I don't know why it is. I don't know. I mean, it's like, am I right? It has to be a fake gemstone. Gemstones are blue or doesn't appear like that. In reality, they are not. They never happens like that. I can't think of a single blue gemstone. This is basically all the blue gemstones exist in reality. And I can't think of a single example where we will have this kind of hue on it. And especially also because, like I said earlier in the video, it has 3 different layers, right? It's like a blue into like a blue or purple. It's like 4 layers technically, but it's 3 different ones because it's like a blue into a medial layer in the middle, and that has a white outside or transparent layer, but white transparent. So that makes 0 sense, okay? That would like never happen in reality. If it happened in reality, it would be again much more like color spread. It would be like you might have 3 different layers in an actual blue gemstone, right? But it would be much more distributed around in the actual material, right? It wouldn't be as clean, basically. That's the problem with it. Anyway, hope you answered the video. No, but seriously, I was like, that blue gemstone is fake. No, but when I see this stuff, right, and this is why, I don't know, some people hate my channel, never ever care, but this is what I mean, if I make a video, and I was like, no, I'm gonna focus on this blue gemstone now, okay? I'm gonna do this blue gemstone. I mean, then that's what happened, okay? I hope you guys like it. Anyway, see you guys and have a great day.